everybody, welcome to Warrior Shrine. This is the podcast where we don't talk about story mode. Pretty much everything else we can talk about. Not really, we don't talk about the crypt either. We talk about gameplay stuff. We talk about what's going on while you're playing the game. I think I just was totally I was just totally redundant right there with that intro. But yeah, the stuff that I don't want to say the stuff that matters, because I mean there are people that really like story mode and lore and all that stuff. Like, don't say that around Razer.
Well, let me rephrase it. The stuff that matters a month after the game's out. Because let's face it,
exactly.
Story mode is kind of like a, it's sort of like a balloon that burst. It doesn't really matter.
Yes.
It's a fucking firecracker. I love the Mortal Kombat story. Maybe not as much as I used to, but I still like the art design a lot. It's the combat though is what's going to be relevant in 2016. Not
it is for the next 2 years. The gameplay is going to be what matters. I mean, from now until forever, it's going to be what carries this game forward, for better or for worse. But, oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Just came to my mind. But anyway, let's jump in. I'm obviously, joined by Temp here. I'm Django. And it's just us. And we're going to talk about some shit.
A lot of shit to talk about.
What do you want to hit first, dude?
I say we hit the patch.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
Now, obviously...
I haven't played it, because I don't have it. I'm on Xbox.
Well, let's start with Sub-Zero then. Grandmaster Sub-Zero. Apparently, when you hit him and when you put him in block stun, from what I understand, that disperses the clone.
I did not know this. Is that true?
It is true, and there's more. Let me bring up the patch notes. But just that alone, how do you feel about that?
That is bullshit. I'm not cool with that. I did not know that was a thing. I thought it was just his cooldown properties changed on the clone.
I think that changed too, but I know, I've been playing on PS4 more than Xbox right now, and it's definitely different. It does change the dynamics of more so the corner game than anything. That really feels different.
Yeah, no, that's totally different. If the clone goes away when he's in block stun, that's, man, I wanna play this character. Stop making me not do so, NRS. That's crazy.
Well, you may have to play this character, and we'll get to that later, but...
Oh, man, Sub-Zero already, he's just... Even with the clone, he doesn't feel anything like he did in MK9, which is okay, but the mind games just aren't as fun using the clone, and to do something like what you're saying, if that's really the case, that's just crazy.
I'm trying so damn hard to find these patch notes. I cannot find these damn patch notes.
But again, what you're saying kind of makes sense, though. The whole game is more offensively oriented, and maybe they even want you to use the clone offensively, which is a kind of a weird idea, but, I mean, you can chuck the clone, obviously. You can use the clone as a projectile shield. These are more, aggressive uses of the clone, and to make it go away if you're in block stun...
Well, I feel like no one's using the clone defensively. I feel like people will only use it on, to cancel out of block strings. That seems backwards to me because, it makes sense, but I feel like people are only playing 50% of Grandmaster right now. No one is really using it to dominate the neutral game. At least I'm not seeing that in tournament. People want to press button.
You there?
But I don't see anyone turtling with the clone yet, not at least at high level. Yeah, hello.
Oh, hey. Yeah, you hear me?
Okay, did you get all that?
Okay, yeah, I think I lost you for just a split second there, but we're good.
Okay, cool. But basically, no one's really turtling with it. Not that I can see, which is strange, because now you can actually get damage with the clone. So, it used to be that you couldn't sit on a life lead with MK9 Sub-Zero, and now you sort of can, because not only does it do chip damage, not only can you use it to interrupt, potential offense, but... Shit, it's a shield. It absorbs zoning, so that's big. I don't know why no one's turtling with it yet.
I don't know. Turtling just feels different. Maybe I don't feel as safe turtling. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have all these tools to go in that I'm actually going in and I never really do often. Because I played a little bit of a turtly Sub-Zero in MK9. I'm assuming that's how I played. You saw me play. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I don't feel like that's really possible with MKX, but maybe it is. Maybe I just need to play the character more.
It's definitely different. I feel like it is definitely a different mindset. You know, because in MK9 you weren't just turtling; you were literally doing nothing, and you were trying to do nothing as long as you could. I feel like that's the biggest difference between MK9 and MK10. In MK9, it was all about finding the point of advantage and holding on to it as long as you could. Whether it be like an instant air gas blast with Cabal, or the mid-range space control with Kenshi, or
Yeah,
just the pressure setups, you know, with Johnny
yeah.
Cage. That's what MK9 was, just gaining the advantage and holding on to it as long as you could. And MK10 is more lottery ticket mentality. Score an opportunity and don't fucking hold on to it. You cash out as soon as you possibly can and you go for broke. That's what MK10 feels like to me. Very different. Very
It is
different.
really different. In MK9, the clone just the character overall felt extremely different, obviously, because he was extremely different Sub-Zero in MK9. But like with the clone, you could do fun stuff like cancel your jumps with the clone, where and leave the clone in the air. That was a lot of fucking fun. I really like kind of throwing people off, messing with my jump arc because everyone's jump arcs are the same in that game, and they might still be, but it still feels I don't know. You have a harder time predicting what your opponent can do because you don't know. They have more options now. They can fucking run at you if you want to, or if they want to. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little harder to kind of control the pace and use the clone to make mind games like that. But I don't know. I do need to play the character more. I do need to put more time in.
He's fun. I mean, to me, Grandmaster is the least interesting of his variations. It's cool. I mean, I was playing Cyborg with Grandmaster, and it was pretty fun. It just, to me, I don't know. With Grandmaster, I get to play on my own strengths. With with Unbreakable, it just, I don't know. It's a very unique mindset that I've never had in a fighting game, where you basically cancel in the EX armor on your forward four, and then you just go ham because your damage, the damage reduction is so big that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can now change the risk reward mind game. It's like I feel like I have a liberty to that, so that's really cool. There's not a lot of games that let you do that. So
I haven't even played that Sub-Zero once. I gotta do this. I have work to do. I have homework.
honestly, dude, like it's probably his worst variation. I think it doesn't need much though. The only problem with it is just the damage output. It's just so not great because at least you have corner damage with Grandmaster and you have space control.
Yeah.
No, you're pretty much going blow for blow with Unbreakable. It's not really a defensive style at all. If anything, I feel like you're more offensive and you're using you're baiting pokes with your shield and you're trying to go for riskier setups with your damage reduction. That's what it really feels like to me. It's not at all, quote unquote, the defensive variation.
But
And where the
if
fuck are these
that's
patch
yeah,
notes?
that's what I was like. If that's really true about the patch, though, then it's like they really just don't want you playing defensively, even with the clone.
I've been to test your might, event hubs, and shoryuken.com, and I cannot find any damn patch notes.
The patch doesn't exist. Confirmed. I've never seen it, so it must
It's
not
not
exist.
a thing. There is no reptile classic.
Yeah, that's just
crappy scales.
that's a group dream everyone's having, including me. I've seen that. Like, I don't know. I feel like, especially since they give you the option to chuck the clone. I'm still talking about Grandmaster. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, they're not gonna like come at me, so I'm just gonna chuck it. And that's not something that I do that, but I shouldn't always do that. It's like, okay, they don't have to come at me. I shouldn't just be like, okay, this isn't being used right this second. I'm gonna chuck the clone. But again, that just kind of like the whole game feels so offensively motivated. It's like, fuck, I'm not doing something to attack. Here, take a clone. I'm
It's not the worst idea. Like sometimes
It's not.
that's the best thing to do.
It's not, but it's not the MK9 Sub-Zero, it's a completely different thing. It's okay.
Okay, I got the notes now. I was right.
Oh, okay, it
now
exists.
always correctly goes away on block instead of sometimes leaving a clone with no active hitbox. Now the defense of this is basically, how do I say it? People are calling it a fix, not a nerf. Now I can't remember what happened in I honestly am not sure what happened in MK9 when you hit Sub-Zero on block. Let's say you do a clone, and then I teleport behind you with smoke. If you block my poke or my setup, does your clone chill? Does it stay out there? I don't know.
I thought it did. I really,
I never
really
played
thought
that.
it did, but I don't know. Because I can think of a lot of times where guys, yeah, that was one of my tricks against like Raiden players, for example. I would drop a clone, they would teleport behind me, and I would just block. And as they, pushed me back with their block string, they would eventually hit the clone before it went away, and they would freeze. Unless I'm just fucking nuts and I'm making this up, like I can almost swear this happened.
I mean, it probably did. That was nerf number one. This is his second nerf. But the clone goes away by itself, without,
Yeah.
being set off by the other player.
Right.
The cooldown goes into effect. Before, if the clone was not hit, if it wasn't, hit with a projectile, if it wasn't thrown by Sub-Zero, then I believe the cooldown was non-existent.
Right.
So that's gone now.
That's what I heard. And I enjoyed being able to do just another clone immediately, but I can see the point behind that.
I mean, honestly, I like them both. I personally am for both nerfs, but let me put my biases on the table. I don't like anything that shuts down fundamentals. And granted, there's some styles that are just built on that. It's like zoning, it's like Rushdown. Shutting down fundamentals is its own style. But in Injustice, Scorpion did that on a big level. Now, did they over nerf Scorpion? Yes. But did Scorpion need to be nerfed? Of fucking course he needed to be nerfed. That's
Yeah.
absolutely. He was fucking ridiculous, dude. But maybe not as much as they did. But I don't like anything that shuts down fundamentals that much, So was Sub-Zero broken? Nah, I don't think he was broken. But I think a lot of characters didn't have a good answer to clone. They just didn't, Tom Brady made a video saying how many exploits there were in the clone. And I feel like in many ways he hurt his argument more than he helped it, because he showed that, see, Katana can do an EX move and right through the blockchain, right, through the string when I cancel in the clone.
Yeah.
That EX move does maybe at most 14% damage and costs 1 bar. So if I have 2.5 bars, I just lost my breaker for 14% damage. If I have 1.5 bars, I now have I lost my EX damage and I lost, my EX setups.
Right.
That doesn't make me feel sorry for you, dude. Now, granted, I am a Tom Brady sympathizer. I get the guy. I agree with him. We should not have patched it till Evo. That was my thought. But we're gonna get a better top 8, I think, because of it, and at Evo at least. But no, I like Tom Brady. I
do too. I'm a big Tom Brady fan. The Mortal Kombat one.
But that video, and to some extent, I agree with him. But there definitely were portions of the cast that were struggling with clone, I think, more than they should have. So I don't know. I think there's better ways to balance this character. I've always been sort of a middle ground player anyway when it comes to patching. I don't like the extremists. I don't like people who say we should never patch. Let's wait a year. No, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Then there's other people who are like, we need to patch this right now. Fucking Takeda is out of control. Like,
oh God. Oh God. I'm glad all those people didn't get what they wanted. That would have been a nightmare for.
That would have been.
Well, for me.
MK9 Kano times a billion. So yeah.
So who else got patched?
We have Quan Chi, which is a pretty innocuous patch, to be honest with you.
What happened to him?
The demon spawn. It has actual cooldown now. When the bat hits the opponent. It's not reset.
Okay.
It's not that different from the clone patch, so I mean that's reasonable.
Yeah.
It doesn't really change a whole lot, to be honest with you. Quan Chi still has a lot of good options, but another problem is that this was clearly a bug. I don't think anyone's honestly complained about this, but there were cases where Puggles wouldn't go away when Quan Chi got hit.
Oh.
Now it does consistently.
Could you still use him?
Yeah. I mean, he was
okay.
Puggles. You could do everything Puggles could do.
Okay. All right. Well, then, yeah, get that the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the other one was kind of a buff. Fix an issue causing demon spawn to sometimes instantly disappear after being summoned. That's good. That's a bug. That should go away.
Yeah.
A Warlock got some buffs, but it's Warlock. Who cares?
What's the one that everyone's playing? Is it Summoner?
It's Summoner, yeah. I mean, we saw Rio use Sorcerer at ESL a little bit. I don't know. I was playing around with Sorcerer. I think it's the most interesting on a conceptual level, but
yeah.
It feels really restrictive. Like I wasn't ready for how restrictive. I was planning on learning Quan Chi like top to bottom, and then I spent like 15 minutes in training mode, I was like, this feels really limiting. Like, I love the idea, but I feel like I can't do anything. Like, it's basically you're putting yourself in timeout. You create a circle, and you have to stand in it. And if you want the perks of doing that, you're fucking stuck there. You have to stay there. It's like, you want better zoning? Stay in this spot. Don't leave. And if it's not advantageous and you have to leave that spot, you have to wait for the portal, I think, to dissipate by itself.
Yeah.
I think. If there's a way you could, like, I don't know, if there's an input that makes it dissipate instantly, I don't know about it. I'm not aware of it. But that kind of sucks, to be honest with you. And then there's Raiden and Kung Jin.
Yeah, okay. So they both got kind of the same nerf, if you want to call it that. I guess, yeah, it's a nerf. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Literally a nerf, but it's probably it's truly both. It's a bug fix and it's a nerf.
Right.
Because I think this really does change a lot about the characters. Like, damage is a big deal because in a game of 50-50s, how many times you need to guess right is kind of important. So yeah, it's a big deal,
And damage itself is just a big commodity in this game. It's kind of hard to come by. So if what's his name? Kung Jin can come by it so easily, then that puts him immediately just on paper and every other way, way above everyone else. And we saw the effect of that. Everyone was fucking playing Kung Jin. Everyone, except for Chris G, who is playing him more interesting.
And did really well, by the way.
Did.
He got second place. Chris G is no joke. I love Chris G. He wasn't popular for a long time in the early MK9 days, but like I said, I've been following that guy since Vanilla Marvel. I love him to death. So, I mean, you're right. Damage is big. And also, they nerfed breakers. Breakers are not as powerful as they used to be, You want your stamina. If you lose your stamina, that's a really big deal.
That's true, yeah.
And this game especially, you don't... I feel like I'm immobile if I don't have stamina, so... I backdash and run. There's so few times where I'm not at least planning something that involves stamina in this game.
Yeah.
But what's up? Go on.
Well, I was gonna say, have you played the matchmaking on the PlayStation?
I have, yeah.
Does it seem any better or worse or different or the same?
I'm leaning towards the same. It might be better. It's really hard to tell, to be honest with you. Because I'm still not getting any games, but the difference is now I'm hanging out with 2 people now I'm hanging out with like 4 people instead of 1 in a room waiting for a match, but I'm still not getting matches. Okay. But I don't know if that's just like people heard about the patch and we're all giving it a try at the same time. I don't know.
I'm really interested to see how that changes my experience, what my experience has been in ranked specifically. I want to see how that goes. But who knows when it's coming out for Xbone.
Yeah, and Shinnok players need that patch. They need it really badly.
What happened with Shinnok?
Okay, let's talk about that. Necromancer is now supposedly a lot better. I mean, I haven't tested any of this, and in theory, it could still be shit. I don't know. But he can now control the location of Judgment Smash and Judgment Fist. So he has more space control. There's a little bit more meta going on there. You kind of have to guess on the spacing. Now, that's from reading the patch notes. I have no idea how that actually functions. I mean, it sounds like it's going to function the way it sounds like it's going to function, but I don't know. Like, it's just inherently not a very good style, Sinestro had stuff like that, but that's not what made him good. As far as I know, there was not a whole lot of meteor smashing going on with Sinestro. I think the whole idea of an unblockable with heavy delay is just not inherent. It's on the bottom of the barrel when it comes to special moves, in my opinion. You'd rather have a fast projectile. You'd rather have like a combo starting launcher or something that puts you in a stun state. No one really wants the slow, shitty unblockable. It's not my favorite thing in fighting games.
As soon as I saw that variation for Shinnok, I thought of Sinestro.
Same.
And all I know is fucking whenever I played a few sets with Pig of the Hut, I got caught by so many of them motherfuckers. God, he just destroyed me. But yeah, I still got hit with the unblockables just because it's not like you can't see them coming, because you can, but it's like, okay, they're not going to go for that now. Oh, yeah, they did. Fuck.
Well, especially when your life gets slow, when you're kind of squirming, that's when I think they're most effective, because I think a big part of fighting games is being able to tell when your opponent's cracked, is being able to pick up on the cues, like,
right.
For example, I was playing Subman 799, And one thing I noticed he's really good at is he knows when to use meter reversals. He's very good at that. And even better than that, he knows when to pick up on the cues on me when I'm waiting for him. He knows when I'm waiting for him to do the reversal and it never comes out and he continues his pressure. He's really good at that shit. So stuff like that, that sort of mind game is when I think the slow, unblockable special kind of matters. But we'll see. I mean, Necromancer is not really the style. I don't really care how good it is. It's the least interesting variation of Quan Chi to me. Oh my god, that was a bad Freudian slip. Least interesting Shinnok variation.
Right, yeah.
It's also the ugliest. I hate those forearms, but whatever.
I know.
But let's talk about the good stuff. That's the boring stuff that may or may not matter in 2 years. Here's the really good stuff. His back three has been replaced with an overhead launcher that he can combo into. And I want to say it's like 10 to 12 frames negative, which is still very punishable, but you kind of have to. That's not free. It's not like a Block Scorpion teleport.
Is that like Scorpion's overhead? The kick he does?
Oh, it's way better. It's way faster. Like
and it's a pop-up?
It's a pop-up, yes, but it's super good. Like Scorpion's forward 4 sucks. Like you could poke out of that reaction.
Yeah.
This is a lot faster. I want to say this is like somewhere between 13 to 16 frames. It's pretty good. Like that's hard to react to, and I don't even think it is reactable, to be honest with you.
Nightwing had a really good one in Injustice. His back two. It was very similar to Sub-Zero's though in this game, except it was way faster. I loved that fucking thing. But yeah, if it's anything Nightwing like that, then Nightwing was great. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Yeah, that's big, and he still has a low. He can still do a low. His forward 4 is now his low. So that can go into sparks. But here's the best part. Like, honestly, when I was messing with the back 3, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, this doesn't change. Okay, here, let me start over. Here's my thing with Shinnok. People were saying this character is shit. I don't think he was shit. I just don't think he was tournament viable. I think he had some dirty material, but it wasn't stuff that was going to matter against the top 7. So when I saw this back 3, I'm like, this is good. He now feels like a finished character to me. That's the key, and we're going to get into that a little later. But so the back 3, I'm like, good. He has a 50-50 now, and this is going to matter. I don't think it's going to launch him into the top tier. Now, this is something that might launch him into the top tier. He can now meter cancel his fireballs, his ground balls. He can now meter burn them for block stun and stay at advantage. That's big. That means if you block, not only can I not be punished after doing a rising fire, but I can now cancel it into more pressure. That's really good. And now that he has a 50-50, the low and the high, well, shit. He gets free pressure and he has a loaded 50-50. That's really good. That's going to change the way people play Shinnok. Now, the best part about it is if I do, say, the forward 4, which is a low, instead of the back 3, which is a high, then I can cancel right back into ground fireballs, which means I can continue my pressure again if I have a borrowed meter. So I have not 1, not 2, but potentially 3 chances to guess right on my 50-50. Now the downside is once I do back 3, I can't cancel into fireballs. That's not cancelable, so your pressure is essentially over. But, I mean, still, 3 chances to do a 50-50?
Yeah.
3 fucking chances to do a 50-50? You better use that 1 meter for block break. Holy shit.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun to deal with.
Fun for the whole family. Right. Everyone's gonna get in on that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really interesting. Now, here's the question: is Shinnok gonna be top tier?
Is Shinnok broken now? That's the question.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Tom Brady said he jumped straight to the top 10. I think he may have qualified that with a probably, but a lot of people are saying top 10 talk for Shinnok now. Here's my thing. I don't know about that. Because, again, he has to use meter for that setup, and that's a big deal. It's very similar to, like, the rune traps in MK9, I feel like, but with a better 50-50. It's probably better than rune traps, to be honest with you. But in that game, you didn't have a pressure break with a 1 meter, so... But anyway, I don't know. I guess the meter, on top of the fact that his 50-50, of course, is still unsafe... The problem with Shinnok is he still has a very weak neutral game, in my opinion. That was my biggest problem. I didn't really want a 50-50 with Shinnok. I just wanted a better neutral game. So is he top 10? It's possible. I don't think so. He may be top 15. He may still be bottom 10. I don't know. He seems really good. I doubt he's bottom 10, but we'll see how much this matters because these are opportunities you still have to score. You still have to start your back three or your 1-1-2 pressure. You don't get that for free with Shinnok. His neutral game is very weak, in my opinion. Because he can full punish fireball. I mean, people can like run punish those fireballs and shit. So
Yeah.
that's a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
He's unsafe if he tries to do mid screen imposter. That's not. I mean, he still has a lot of problems. I feel like the character gets more reward for what he is, but I don't know. My conclusion is this: top 10, not top 10, viable, not viable. He feels like a finished character now. He definitely wasn't tournament viable before, but now he feels finished and I can have fun with him. That's what I really care about. And you know what? He may be top 3 for all we know. I mean, I'm not going to make light of what he got. This is a big deal for the character. He could be unbelievably good right now. He might not be. It's very ambiguous in my opinion because, like I said, those are opportunities he still has to score.
Yeah.
He does not get in for free, but it's a big deal, and the character's fun now. The character's really fun. That was my biggest problem with Shinnok before. I'm like, I feel like I'm fucking gimped with this character, so very interesting.
This just makes me want to get to that tier list.
Okay, we can do that next.
This is what I want to hear because I don't know this, and I'm very curious to hear what it is.
All right, well, just to give the people some context, Pig of the Hut was streaming. And he basically gave a top 10 for Mortal Kombat. Now, granted, this is not in stone. This is just what he feels right now.
Right, yeah.
Pig of the Hut obviously knows that this is not gospel. This is just what seems intuitive to him right now.
Right.
And he's done a lot of lab work as well. So let's start. Who is the number 1 character on the top 10? Number 1 character in the game. It is a choice I actually agree with.
It's obviously Full Auto Jackie.
Oh,
right?
I have not encountered one Full Auto Jackie online.
Well, God bless you.
Miracle.
Somebody up there loves you. Who is number 1?
But to the surprise of all the Jangos, it is not Full Auto. It's not Full Auto Jackie. It is Raiden, which I absolutely agree with.
This whole list is a sham. Which Raiden is it?
Thunder God.
Thunder, of course it is. Okay.
Which was really kind of it was weird because when I saw the Raiden trailer back in July, I thought that was going to be by far the worst variation. It was my favorite just because it looked cool and that's the way I've always wanted to play Raiden, but I figured the one with, I don't know, the teleport was going to be good.
Right.
I figured the one with the
Displacer.
ridiculous space control. I have not seen one displacer online, in tournament, or in casuals ever.
Does Thunder God have a teleport?
No, he doesn't.
Wow. I gotta remember that. Stop trying to respect a teleport that doesn't exist.
Now I don't feel so good. You thought I had a teleport? You thought I was sandbagging and not using my teleport the whole time we played?
I did think you had a teleport, yeah.
Oh god, that's gold. Well shit, I'm looking forward to that match again.
It'll be the same.
But yeah, his damage is not as great anymore. Really, that's a big deal too. I don't think it's going to knock him out of number 1, but it's definitely not a solid placement anymore. We really have to kind of rethink this character now. But I still think overall, in terms of tools and space control, he's unbelievable. He blows up wake-ups really well. He's got a really fast space control with his back 1 chain. It's really good stuff. Yeah. What thoughts? Do you think Raiden? Think he earned the spot? Do you think he belongs there?
Yes. I know that he is very good. I've played against a few really good Raidens, and I mean, yeah, I knew he was at least top 3 anyway, and if Pig thinks so, then yeah, I'll take his word for it.
I would agree with him, and I mean, really thinking about it, what is wrong with Raiden? What's the gap in his game? I can't think of anything.
He doesn't have a teleport, I know that now.
If he had a teleport in Thunder God, dude, like, I would just drop the game. I like that character. Like, that was a potential main for me, and I'd fucking drop the game. No, but, alright, that's number 1. Number 2 is Quan Chi. Which I also well deserve. I mean, he damn near has an unblockable. Now, I understand if he does the bat as well as the low at the same time, or shit, I can't even think right now. Whatever the mix-up is, if he does both the low and the high at the same time,
yeah,
it doesn't work. It's blocked. But does it matter? I mean, holy shit, it's so ridiculously fast. No way you can react to that.
Right.
And that can go on for days, so yeah.
I saw this going on in the tournament that I watched, and I'm like, this doesn't look good to me. Like, just to see the match go on, and it's just like the continual mix-up vortex, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, this is not how I would want MKX to be represented. But, I mean, it's fucking there, so use it. I don't know.
Pretty much in that territory of pre-patch Kung Lao spin, where you look at a move and you're like, this should not have even, how did this make it past? How did the game go gold with this in it?
Right.
That's how dumb it is, you know. To this day, I still don't know what the story behind that was. They had to know that was ridiculous, but you're right. No, it's a problem, and it makes our game look bad. And if we're not careful, it could make our top 8s look bad. We don't want like 3 Quan Chis, 2 Kung Jins, and a few Devoras in the top 8. That doesn't look good in my opinion. I don't like that. So, yeah, I wish that had kind of been, at the very least, make it scale more, you know? But
yeah.
I don't know. It's really ridiculous. Now, granted, the reason why I put Quan Chi below Raiden is because, like I said, I spent a little time with Quan Chi. His chains leave a little bit to desire. The character feels really unsafe in the neutral game. I feel like once he lands the opportunity, he can go home with it. You know, he can completely home run that thing. But I feel like he's got a lot of weaknesses. I feel like unlike Raiden, Quan Chi actually does have some holes in his game. So I do agree with that choice. But so yeah, no surprises here. This one may have been a surprise a week ago. I don't think it's a surprise now. Number 3 is Devora.
Huh.
And we just saw Grand Finals Devora mirror match in Tor Yukan.
I didn't see that, so okay.
Well, it was boring. I'll tell you right now, it was super fucking boring. It's one of the most boring Grand
Was it the same variation?
I think they started out different variations. I think Honeybee switched to the same variation as Honeybee and Pimpin' Jim. Yeah, that was the Grand Finals. So they were both Swarm Queen, I think, by the end of the set. But gosh, that character! And I already don't like the character, but I think she's boring to watch. At least, and mirror matches in general are not.
I gotta see this. I don't
dude,
know how.
You do not have to see this, dude.
I want to see this. I want to see how it goes. I fought a lot of Devoras online, but and she's got some really good shit, but I haven't seen what would make her number 3.
Well, imagine if Glacius and Dalsim did not extend their hurt boxes with their normals. Like, imagine that.
Yeah.
She basically has limbs with no consequences.
Okay.
It's like, oh, it whiffed, whatever, I'm like a billion feet away from you. Oh, it hit? Well, now this is happening.
Her uppercut is kind of retardedly good.
Yeah, it doesn't have a very good horizontal range, but, like, if you're trying to, like, stuff cross-ups and... Yeah,
her actual hitbox is just so low to the ground when she does it.
Oh, yeah, precisely. And
so
cross-ups already suck balls in this game. And you know what, too? Like... She's got free pressure, too. She's got range. She's got ridiculous pressure. And she's got decent damage. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's good enough. And as far as I know, it's meterless. So, yeah, she's kind of like Raiden. She's kind of like a ghetto Raiden. There's not a lot wrong with this character, you know? I don't see anything wrong. I would say, in terms of pressure, she's probably better than Raiden. She's dirtier, I think, on Rushdown. Raiden just has really safe options. She's actually got some dirt on you. You have to guess against Devora. So
yeah,
that's number 3. Number 4, say it with me, Kung Jin.
Kung Jin! What's up, bro?
What is up? Not your damage.
Not your damage. Not as high as it was.
Yeah, really not a lot to say here. Just really good spacing, really good normals.
Oh yeah, dude, he's staff tier.
Yeah, dude. He could be hood tier, maybe? Is hood tier a thing? I don't know.
He has a staff. Let's just call it staff tier.
He's got like a headband. That's kind of hat tier. Staff tier is
does
good,
he have?
though.
Yeah, he has that. Well, yeah, like Aquaman in Injustice. Fucking staff.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right.
Fucking Nightwing, half of him was staff tier.
Well, you know who had all of his staff? Jade.
Did she though? It only came out sometimes.
Well, first of all, that's what she said. Second of all, Maybe that's why staff characters are so good. They're compensating for Jade. 4 years ago.
Okay,
Sometimes
well.
you got us. Sometimes
Oh
you
no,
got
yeah,
us.
staff tier didn't apply to Jade in my opinion, back in
Gotta.
MK9. Now, if it did, I would have played Jade because I'm all about some staff tier, but
I tried to play Jade anyway. She was a lot of fun. I felt like it wasn't even the fact that her damage was low. I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like I felt like I couldn't land a hit. And I feel like if I wasn't landing hits, I had no tool to make you scared. Like I
right.
had this really slow moving projectile that starts up at like a million frames. And you got a dive kick that can whiff for free pressure or hit me in the face, Kung Lao. So it's like, all right, fine, great. I'm probably never going to play Jade in tournament.
And so now we have a staff tier character who has a dive kick.
Yeah, that's another thing. He's got really good air mix-ups. That matters, especially when his EX flippy care. I don't play Kung Jin, but
That weird kick where he lands on his
air
ass?
attack is, yeah, that's advantage as
Okay.
far as I know. Can't
Okay.
even punish it. Ridiculous, but I agree with pretty much the majority of the top players here. I still think he's really good. I still think he's going to be top 10 probably till the end of the game's run.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with him. I don't think he has any problems that I know of. He's fair. Like you can space him right. I mean, you have to be really careful. He's a stick of dynamite.
You gotta watch out for that neutral jump too.
Oh yeah, God. Well, that's another thing I don't like about him. You can't really anti-air him, and you can't really jump in on him. So
Right.
it's a very frustrating match. But
I've heard lots and lots of complaining about Takeda's neutral jump punches, but come on. Let's just be real for a minute. We got some characters in this game who have actually really good ones. Takeda's is not bad, but we got Kung Jin's, we got Outlaw Aaron Black, we got fucking Ferrator's. Good lord.
yeah, no. To be honest with you, dude, like I don't know, Takeda. Poor Takeda. What the problem with Takeda is it was the perfect storm of scrub killer. He's not good, but he destroys the scrubs. He's kind of like Ermac in MK9. If you didn't know what to do, you're basically dead.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, online monsters, they're not going to know that you can interrupt his main chain with the last hit for the special cancel. They don't know that,
Yeah.
So, and when you combine that beautiful, beautiful, sexy neutral jump punch with a teleport, that converts into damage, and like a right outside of mid-screen air attack, it's good space control. A lot of it's unsafe, but again, if you're a scrub, that's too bad. Now, we should make note of this because Cyborg and Razor really don't like this match.
Right, yes.
This is not my way of calling them scrubs.
Oh yeah, they're
This
not
is my
scrubs.
way of saying they don't know the matchup, and it's hard to learn because they're playing online. And Django, let's be a little honest. Can we be honest?
Okay.
Your lag does kind of favor your character. A little bit. Can we be real?
I
Let's
just
be
wish
real.
it did more because I don't feel like I'm winning enough. Damn it.
Dude, if it favored it more, like Cyborg would return his game to GameStop and get his store credit. No, I mean, because I get that. Like for that, in that respect, I am super sympathetic to them. But it's not obvious what to do. Like if you don't know the matchup, it's not clear exactly. Like it took me a while to realize that I could run punish that air attack, like the one with the spear. I didn't know that.
Oh god, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing about MKX in general. Like, frames and stun are very deceptive in MKX because
Yeah.
when he lands, it looks like he's able to attack. It's not
No.
clear that he's still in a block state or he's still in a recovery state. So
I don't like us giving away all this tech to everybody right now. Just so you know.
I don't know. Well, remember, the harder we beat down Takeda now, the more he's going to get buffed. So
He's not gonna get buffed. How are they gonna buff him? They'll end up buffing fucking Lasher or some shit.
they'll probably make some stuff safe. I would hope he wouldn't be as interruptible as he is, but what they'll probably do is they'll buff the shit out of him, and then they'll just jack his neutral jump punch. That's what I imagine they would do.
No, I don't want that. I want it the way it is.
Like, you won't even get, like, an attack. Like, when you do a neutral jump punch, you'll throw, like, Dudley's Rose, I don't know what. It's going to be lame. Just get ready for it now. Brace yourself.
No, I don't like this at all. This is bad.
But,
he's got so few like fucking good normal attacks. Does Takeda? Like, there's so many things that are just so bad about him. If I accidentally, because of lag, don't hit back 2 or some shit, I just hit a raw ass 2, dear God, I'm in an animation for a round, basically. Like, it's crazy how slow some of his shit is if you don't do it right.
No, I mean that's fair. I mean, he's definitely salt-inducing, which is another thing that's at his disadvantage. The fact is, losing to Takeda hurts a lot more than losing to, say, like Sub-Zero or Sonya, in my opinion. I get way more angry because
Does it hurt more than losing to Scorpion?
I would say so.
What? An Inferno Scorpion?
Yeah.
Dude, it's the fucking goat. If I get caught by a million goats, I'm not a happy guy.
Goated, but that's why I'm not salty. I don't get salty when I lose to something dumb that probably needs to be toned down a bit, And just so all the TYM monsters out there before they blow me up, I'm not saying Patch Inferno Scorpion, calm the fuck down. But I know it's dumb. I know it's a really good tool. With Takeda, I'm getting blown up by fucking neutral jump punches. You know how many Xboxes I would have blown up if I fucking lost a neutral jump punch in MK9 over and over again? Especially when I know you're going to do it. It's like, okay, he's got a neutral jump punch. Standing jab. Oh, wait, that doesn't work. He's got the hitbox the size of fucking Michael Clark Duncan. Fuck this game.
It's not that big.
It's a little big, dude.
It's bigger than normal. But it's not...
somewhere between Michael Clark Duncan and Ving Rhames. It's somewhere in the middle of that, for sure. But I don't know, dude. Like, that's the thing. Like... he's a very salt-inducing character. No one wants to lose to neutral jump punches, but he definitely has problems, and he definitely needs to be buffed in the long run. I still say wait, but
I'm not calling for buffs here. I'm certainly not doing that.
And that's the thing, though. Like, he's not just bad. Like, Pig of the Hut only mapped out the top 10, but I want to say, and I could be wrong about this, but I want to say he put Takeda bottom 3, which I think makes him like 24 on the list.
Wow!
That's bad. That's really bad.
That's not good.
No, it's really not good. That's a problem. So, I mean, what's the end game with Takeda? Like, at the end of the day, what's your goal with Takeda? Okay, let's talk about this. When you're Takeda and you're playing a match, let's say it's Takeda versus Kung Jin. Let's say Takeda versus Kung Jin. What's your end game? What strategy are we going in with?
I'm going to go in with don't neutral jump punch as much as you normally would. Because he can beat me with that. He wins. His is better.
That's still a lot of neutral jump punches. You went from like 28 to like 17 neutral jump punches.
Well, maybe a couple more less. Just a couple, maybe 15.
Okay, all right. God, let's say it's not Kung Jin. Let's say you're fighting Scorpion. What's your end game?
Oh, God. I don't know, man. Scorpion matches are nuts, but they're still fun. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What are you asking me here? What do I do to win?
I guess, what do you not want to do? Like, let's say if you're in a matchup and you know it's not one of your favorite matches, what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to... What spacing do you want to be in? Like, where's your ideal spot on the screen where you want to get the most?
I don't know. It depends on the player. It depends on how I'm seeing how they play. If they like to block a lot, then I'm gonna go up and pressure them. But if they're coming in, then I'm gonna have to try to work around that. But yeah, it just depends on the player. Like it's not that much about character. I know that doesn't help much for tier lists and making that shit, but I'm not good enough to recognize that stuff with characters that much. I can just kind of get a okay feel off of the player that I'm playing against.
I guess that's fair. And Takeda, I guess the point I've been making behind all these questions of what would you do in this matchup is, I don't think there's a clear end game with Takeda. I don't know what this character wants to do. I really don't.
I think he wants to get you at least what I want to do is I want to get you into a juggle. This I know. But if I open you up, I need meter. Meter's very important. If I can open you up, then I can get a meter burned spear or whatever. I can get good damage off that. That's good. If I get that neutral jump punch, then you're juggling. I have you in the air. I can get some good damage off that. Those are the only two ways that I get damage with Takeda. Like, I gotta have you juggling, or I have to land the EX spear, which isn't very often.
Yeah, he does struggle for damage. It leaves a lot to be desired.
So, yeah, like, if you see me going for neutral jump punches a lot, it's because that's one of the only consistent ways that I can open up people for combos with Takeda. That and the EX teleport. but that gets stuffed a lot. That gets stuffed a lot.
Yeah, and it's only going to get harder. People are going to learn this character more and more throughout the next few months, so
Yeah.
he probably needs something, but I wish he... I will say this, though. I wish he was less gimmicky, because maybe that was the design they were going for. They were going for a YOLO character. And his gimmicks aren't terrible, but they're very punishable, and you have to play a really high level of mind games, you know. And I don't really
It's
like.
really hard for
like
me to
that
call him a
general.
YOLO character though, because he doesn't have any fast moves. You know what I mean? Like he has no way of getting in on you fast, and his teleport is not fast, and it's very punishable unless it's EX. Punishable on block.
I say YOLO because of the
No, I was just gonna say like that, coupled with the fact that all of his normals are just ridiculous. Like he has his 1-1 is okay, and his forward 2-1 are okay, but those don't use whips at all. Those are just like punchy normals. Any move that uses his whips, you're in an animation for days. So I don't want to just say, I don't want to go like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna throw these whips out there because I'm really committing to something if I'm putting a whip out there.
Well, that's the key, is commitment. I think he's a very commitment-heavy character. And the reason I say YOLO is because the range in conjunction with the teleport is very interesting, because some stuff you can get away with if you're out of stamina. Like that air harpoon, that's actually decent if you know the character just did a breaker, you know? I don't think it's as bad. Now, maybe some characters can still punish it. I haven't tested it out, but run goes a long way in this game. So yeah, he's very high risk with not that great of a reward.
You know what? That fucking spin kicky move he has. Fuck that.
I hate
Fuck
that
move. Why is that move in the fucking video game?
So Shinnok could steal it and be a shittier character. I hate playing Shinnok against your Takeda because I hate stealing that shitty move.
It's the worst move. Like, even when I jump and then do it, like, EX, it gives you a pop-up, but you're never gonna fucking hit them most of the time. If they are anything other than, like, full screen or, if they're anything other than duck blocking full screen, it's gonna whiff. Like, that's all you can really do to hit them. It hits overhead, but it doesn't hit anywhere between you and them if they're full screen. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's stupid.
Even if it's a good option, even if there is some circumstance where that move matters, I can't imagine it being your best option. You know, so...
Yeah, there's just other stuff that you would do in that situation that's better than that. And I'm sure, I don't use it often enough to know, but if I had to guess, I would say that it's probably really shitty on block. So, I'm just not going to use it. And I don't use it. I never use that fucking move.
Yeah, I forget it's there. I think Razor was saying he completely forgot that move existed. Like, I think it was Razor at least, but
No, yeah, I did too. So if they were going to do anything to Takeda, I would say adjust that move. But they don't have to. Like I said, I'm not calling for buffs for Takeda. Not doing that. But
at least not yet.
That is a useless move. If you're going to look somewhere for something, I mean, there might be something there.
And that's something me and Praetor talked a lot about. Praetor always resented that Ermac's EX moves and MK9 weren't terribly useful. He hated that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I always responded with, well, the character still has good tools overall. I feel like he's still a solid character. It would be nice if EX moves, just on a philosophical level, had utility. But back then, I thought Ermac was a good character. Now I think Ermac is shit. Like, that's a bad character in my opinion. He made me bottom
MK9?
10. Yes. And yeah. I should say that. I think MK9 Ermac was really bad.
Yeah.
So now I definitely agree with him. Praetor, I take all that shit back. They need to buff that character. At least, I don't know, his utility. Like, he was a really solid design, but just really bad normals and chains. But anyway, I guess we should segue back into the list with...
Yeah, where were we? Number 5, 6?
5 indeed. I will say this real quick, though. I don't think Kung Jin's in my top 5 anymore. He's still top 10, but I don't put him in my top 5. I actually disagree with this choice. I'd make him not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 slots lower. But number 5 is Cassie Cage.
Wow. I haven't played enough of Cassie Cage to know if that's... I know she's good on paper, but I don't know.
Again, I see nothing wrong with this character, but unlike Raiden and Devora, I mean, she does have weaknesses at least. They're not holes, they're just weaknesses. They're things that hold her back, and that's it. That is, she's very dependent on run. She actually loses damage in entire combo setups if she runs out of run. You know, that back flippity, I don't know what it's called, but when she does the backflip, she needs the run to convert. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a big
yeah.
deal. So that's a weakness, I guess. Her other weakness is apparently, and I don't know which ones. I haven't messed around with the character, but she does. I think some of her better chains are interruptible. I think I heard Lord of the Flies saying that on the Atlanta commentary. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he's referring to, but
Yeah.
that's a thing, right? So yeah, 5 seems fair. I probably would agree with Cassie being number 5. I see no reason. I think number 6 is better. I put number 6 over 5, but Cassie's really good.
Okay, who's number 6 then?
6 is Sonya.
Sonya. Really?
Yeah, and we learned this at Tor Yukan. Well, I mean, we knew it before. I mean, people in the Houston scene were using her. DQ Beats was using her. I think he got top 8 in ESL one week. We knew Sonya was good. Death really demonstrates some of her cool stuff. And let me give credit to Texas. Holy shit, how did I forget? Scar was doing amazing things with Sonya in top 8 Texas Showdown.
I did. Okay, yeah, that I did see. Okay.
And that X-ray, it's almost too good because it's so good that you want to use it, and when it whiffs, you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
Very hard to punish, though. You really have to know that window because just punishing parries in general is very scary, especially when it's an X-ray that does 30 plus damage. You know,
right? Yeah.
That goes into a combo, by the way. So yeah, Sonya is really good. Has a lot of good pressure. Very scary, very hit confirmable. And really one of the few multiple variation characters, I feel like. I feel like there's only like 10 characters in this game where they have not one but 2 variations you might want to use.
Yeah.
This is one of them. She has a very good variation in her, I don't know what it's called. The one with the parries. I can't remember the name.
I want to say it's...
Spec Ops?
Yeah, that's it, Spec Ops. I was going to say Commando,
Okay.
but that's Kano.
And then Drones. Drones is also
Yeah,
really
Drones
good.
is good.
Yeah, those are both very strong variations. Not the easiest thing to set up, but against a lot of characters is incredibly useful. It's free pressure, basically. But, yeah, not a lot to say here, to be honest with you. Just decent damage, really good pressure, great dive kick, really good spacing. I mean, this seems like a solid choice. I would absolutely agree with that.
See, I want to play against these characters because I haven't played against hardly anyone. I can't even remember that's impressed me with the past 3 characters you said, maybe? No, scratch that. I played a bit against plenty of Kung Jins. The Devora, Cassie, and Sonya's. Like, I haven't played against that many of them.
Yeah, Sonya I've only encountered once, actually, online. And I would agree with number 6. She wasn't my top 5 till like 3 days ago. Same thing with Kung Jin. Like 3 days ago is when I really thought harder about this. And yeah, I think Sonya as number 6 is solid. And I think number 7 is solid too. I think most people, even if they don't agree, is number 7. I think everyone agrees this is a scary character with good tools. Jax.
Yeah. This is again, like, I haven't played enough of him to get the hype. I hear a lot of hype about Jax, about how he's secretly really good and shit, and I see him in tournaments, but I don't know, like, really, like, I'm thinking of having a couple of characters I'm waiting to hear, and I haven't heard them yet, and I'm like, really? Some of these other ones are better than these guys? But okay.
Well, the 2 things that I see in Jax is that, for one thing, his pressure is really good. That's nothing new. His corner game is really good. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
He's got a combo starter, the downward Superman punch. That's pretty good. But even his zoning in is it heavy weapons? What's it called?
Yeah. Are you talking about his grenade launcher one or his rocket launcher one? Yeah. Heavy weapons.
The zoning's not bad. The fact that you can delay and dash out of that zoning is a big deal. And you can use that. You can dash out of that special when you cancel. How do I say it? You can actually extend your combos in the same way you extend Raiden's combos with a dash cancel for his fireball.
Okay.
Same principle applies. You get more damage that way, of course. And just delayed zoning is a really underrated tool. I don't think we see that often in fighting games. It's really cool to see that. So, I mean, best of both worlds, really. I don't really know much about his variation differences other than the heavy weapons. That's really all I know. I don't know. We'll see. Jax is kind of... We know he's good. We just don't know where he places right now on the tier list. I think 7's a fair assessment. I don't know if I agree or disagree with it, but it's one of those we'll sees.
All right.
Number 8, I disagree with. Not because it's too high, but because it's too low. I think this character's top 5. And that's going to be Aaron Black.
That's who I was waiting for. What the fuck?
Yeah, this character is unbelievable. really fucking good character.
That's what I was like. Yeah, I'm hearing like fucking Sonya and Jax. Like, I'm not saying they're bad, but he's good. Aaron Black is good.
Yeah, good air range in his Tarkat or the Baraka blade thing.
Yeah,
that's really powerful.
The outlaw variation, and he's got really good mix-ups.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, that's the whole character.
Right.
I don't even know if his zoning's good. Is his zoning good? I've never seen it.
I don't even know if he fucking has any gunshots. I'm sure he does, but he does have the grenade, which the grenade is good, but it's like kind of deceptively good. It kind of trips people up because there's not a lot of characters in this game that have like a ground projectile like that.
Yeah, and even has a good meter reversal with the slide. I think that's
Right. The slide. I
it's not
forgot
the
about
best
the
tool,
slide.
but
Yeah.
everyone does. That's why they keep getting hit by it. It's
Yeah.
pretty dumb, but yeah, just God, this character. It's another one where maybe he has a weakness I don't know about. Maybe his chains are a lot less safe than I think they are. Like I said, like I would say 7 out of the 10 of these characters I'm not taking into the lab.
Right.
Even the ones I have, I've not done anything extensive with them.
If you
But
can,
yeah.
if you can interrupt his chains, I want to know how. I played this one fucking ranked game online, and I'm not sure if I've ever been saltier in my life. I mean, I was just mad, but it was like, I lost kind of mad, but it was also how I lost. The dude just he never finished the combo, so he would go into the 50-50, and as soon as like that little like 2 or 3 hit string ended, he just waited a second and then he started up another 50-50. And then he just did it over and over and over again. He never finished it. So every 3 seconds I had to guess again. And I pretty much completely guessed wrong every single time.
That sounds awful. I feel sorry for you.
Oh god. I was like, we all know that you can do this, but you shouldn't do this. You should never do this.
Man, at least you lost against someone who knew how to like do buttons. I lost against an Aaron Black who did nothing but sandball, and I just couldn't get in because of the lag. Yeah. And then he teabagged the shit out of me, dude. I wanted to fix something.
Yeah, if this guy would have done all that and then teabagged me, I would have had to buy another new controller.
Like, I was so mad, dude. I wanted to just go to my kitchen, just make a nice cup of coffee, put in 2 teaspoons of sugar, add just a little bit of 2%, and then throw that shit against the fucking wall. I was so mad, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, I think I would love to see what Pig of the Hut. I mean, I think he gave his reasoning on most of the characters. I can't remember what he said, because I mean, it's a live stream. It's very, very unstructured, very casual. So I can't remember what he said, but I would like to know. I would like to see what he thinks. I don't even know if he's going to listen to this, but if he does, I'm sure he has more to say on this. I'm sure that wasn't an arbitrary pick.
Yeah, I would like to know why he's so low. Like, I thought Aaron Black would be a little higher.
It may just be process of elimination. It may just be the fact that, how should I say it? Maybe just the characters above Aaron Black are just so ridiculous that it was like, yeah, Aaron Black's really good. But I see why you can argue Raiden, Quan Chi, Kung Jin. I think he's better than Kung Jin, but maybe there's something I don't know. Not Jax. I don't think Jax is better than Aaron Black by any means. But again, I mean, he is taking these characters into the lab way more than I have.
Kung Jin does have more tools than Aaron Black does. Kung Jin has the dive kick. He also has a really good arrow. Just the raw ass arrow is not a bad projectile. He has almost all the tools that Aaron Black has. So, but he has a little bit better range and reach and shit like that, and his stuff's a little easier to do too. So I can see him being better than Aaron Black, just from my experience.
You see, I don't know if he's easier or not. I've never spent... and that's something I got to work on. I got to spend a lot more time with the roster in general, because right now it's all so new to me. I mean, I really only know what I've seen in tournament.
Yeah.
And I don't know the properties 100% or even 50%. I mean, you don't know frame data by looking at it. So.
Right. All I know is by playing... I played a little bit of Kung Jin, and I'm going to be playing more at some point. I don't know when, because he's staff tier. But, yeah, when I played him, I was like, okay, this is not that hard. It's not that hard to get decent damage with Kung Jin. So, he's
that corner game, too. That corner game is crazy.
God, all that shit, man. Like, he is a good fucking character. And I would say, because he has... especially because he has that fucking arrow, in addition to everything else that Kung Jin has, he's good. He's a good character.
Yeah.
He's a really good character. Not just good. He's really good.
I think at least this much is true. no matter where he ends up in the ranking, he's going to be good probably for a long time. I don't. This character doesn't. He seems gimmicky to me, but I feel like he has more room to grow. He has other options that are not even being utilized yet. That's the feeling I get. So I have a feeling.
Kung Jin?
Yeah, no, Aaron Black.
Oh, Aaron Black. Okay. Oh yeah, Kung Jin. He's got the fucking Nightwing dive kick thing. Not his regular dive kick, but like the dragon kick with his staff. Yeah. He's got that. He's also got the fucking air fireball that he just holds his stick up and boom, which is
or
not
as
that.
I like to call it, the input air. But
it's not that useful. But if you throw it in every once in a while, you can catch somebody. They forget about it.
I have a character who would finish his combos with that shitty move, and I just watch it whiff and go over me, and I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm like, why? And they continue to pummel me, but yeah, Aaron Black, good character. Number 9, this is when we're going to start getting into predictable territory. Number 9 is Scorpion.
Yeah.
And Inferno's really good. I think Hellfire might be a little better.
Oh yeah. Those are both really, really good.
Very strong character. Very, very good pressure.
It's kind of like what he
standing resets
should have kind of been in Injustice had that game worked for such a character. Like now he's kind of doing that kind of thing, especially with Hellfire in MKX.
Andy
got the costume now too.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better now. I think it looks way better in MKX than it did in Injustice. I think it looks very strong. I didn't really care for it in Injustice, but now it looks really good with the next-gen graphics. Mm-hmm. And number 10. Do you want to take a stab at it? Who do you think number 10 is?
Oh. I'm going to say Full Auto Jackie.
No.
What? Dude, come on. Well, we know it's not Takeda.
No, it's definitely not Takeda.
I don't know. Who is it?
It is Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero?
No, pre-patch, I absolutely believe this. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest with you, even with his other variations are not bad. Cryomancer is a very solid variation, a very solid character. But I'm one of those people, I don't think Clone went to hell. I think Clone is still very good. I think people are going to have to use it more conservatively, but that's the way Clone should be used anyway, in my opinion. So, but yeah, and here's another thing we should point out. I don't know which Sub-Zero is talking about, patch or pre-patch. It may have been the same conclusion. He may have thought top 10 anyways. But yeah, number 10 seems solid. I think even in Cryomancer, he's still a top 10 character. He's very good. The only reason people aren't using Cryomancer is because it's not optimal. That's a good reason. I'm not going to fault him for that. But his overhead and his back 3-3, and no one's really using it yet. But his back 1-2 reset. If you do back 1-2, you get a free guessing game. You get the
do you?
There's nothing they can do about it. Yeah, one thing I like to do online, and I don't do it very often because it's so rare that I land a freeze after a back 1-2. But if you get back 1-2 freeze, jump in back 1-2, they have to guess. Are you going to do back 3-3 or are you going to do overhead? That's
okay. I see. Yeah.
And shit, dude, that's pretty solid. So he has that in all variations. That's a big deal, and I'm not really seeing anyone utilize it yet. Everyone wants to do block string clone. So yeah, I think that's the real reason why people are getting so pissed right now, because they have to play differently. It has nothing to do with the character. The character's fine, but they can't play the way they did before, and I agree with that. You got to rethink his corner game. You got to rethink his his mid pressure. It all has to be taken back into the lab now. But that's not
the deal.
gone.
That's the deal. He is completely different than he was in the last game. He's not the same dude at all anymore.
Even from previously before the patch, some stuff is going to be more dangerous, but it's still there, and I still think it has utility. I don't think this character's dead. And if it is, you still have Cryomancer, damn it. This character is so decent. It's ridiculous how decent he is. It's obnoxious how decent of a character he is.
I want to play him some more. I want to spend more time with him. He's my boy, and I haven't been touching him hardly at all in this game.
Well,
Takeda's just so fun, though.
maybe it's the variation. Maybe Grandmaster's not your thing. Have you thought about maybe going to Unbreakable or?
Maybe I should try Unbreakable. I really should. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I really don't know how I want to use the clone in this game because everything just feels different. But I don't know. I just need to spend more time with this. What I need to do. That's all it is. Just time.
And time's hard, man. Like I haven't had a lot of time with this game, unfortunately, just because of life stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason we start our podcasts at what 11 o'clock, 10:45 at night. Like, some graveyards at 2 a.m. We should get a graveyard going tonight. It'd be nice if we did a graveyard soon. I'm ready to do it. I've been wanting to do a graveyard for a really long time, but
yeah, we need to do one.
Just everyone's tired right now. Like, I mean, we described it as burnout, but to me, it's more of a hangover. Like, it's just spending so much time with this game and just
I can see that, yeah.
the conjunction of work, try and hang out with friends, and sometimes succeeding, and just playing the game nonstop. Just it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's a lot to try to fit in.
And it's like, well, we gotta do a podcast too. Shit.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of the fans are kind of like. They're like, where's the Netherkast? Why are you slowing down? And that's what and Cyborg's more vocal more vocal than me because he's on the forums a little more than I am, I think. But for me, I'm too tired to even respond. Like, I'm just like, I want to play. I just want to play Mortal Kombat and not be at work. And when I'm not at work, I have no energy. I have nothing. Like,
well, I hear you. Yeah.
But
time.
Yeah, time indeed, and just I think now I'm finally ready to start with the graveyard. Although the graveyard I never got tired of. That was always easy for me because the graveyard.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, that's just bullshitting basically about whatever.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But there's one more thing to talk about.
Okay.
That is going to be Tor Yukan. Now let me bust out the top 8 for that again because I think I closed it because I'm dumb. Well, actually, real quick, let's go over Texas Showdown. Texas Showdown was won by Digit. Now, what's significant about this is Digit won Texas Showdown last year in Injustice, and he did it with Shazam. That's pretty awesome.
Huh, it is surprising.
You
not
don't hear
that Shazam was bad, but
I mean, it's okay. This is just my opinion, and I was not an Injustice player. I dropped that game by fall 2013, but
wow.
Just to give some perspective, there was people really didn't know how good this character was, in my opinion. It wasn't clear. He seemed bad, but he seemed like he had a lot of really good tools, and I think to this day we still don't really know how good Shazam was. We don't know. But here's one thing we know.
Shazam was just hard to use. That was Shazam's whole deal. At least
I hated his inputs, I'll say that.
Right, exactly. Like, whenever the game came out, I, looked at the roster, I was like, okay, I want to play Nightwing, and I want to play Shazam. Just because I like the characters. But I tried learning Shazam, I'm like, okay, I'm never going to have the execution to be able to be decent with this character online. This is just not going to happen. So I dropped the character, which made me really sad, because I really like Shazam.
Even offline, like, times, because I would do his bread and butter, and I'd try to end it with I want to say, was it forward 2, forward 3? It's been so long. But it's the knee, and I try to convert that into a final special.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would just whiff, and I'm like, well, what the fuck did I do wrong? So I was like, okay, well, I have the height wrong. When I do the jumping 3, maybe I just don't have... I couldn't figure it out, and it started to get frustrating, so I started watering down my combos. And, I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I didn't know who my main was, and I was really struggling because Aquaman was too dumb. Like, he was a broken character who wasn't fun, and that, to me, is the worst combination. When you have a high-tier character who's probably top 5 in the game, who isn't fun to use, and he's the only character you wanted to play. Because Blue Beetle didn't make it into the game, so I'm like, all right, well, Aquaman's really cool. Probably my favorite character in the roster. And I was just like, no, I don't want to win like this. That's why I love Smoke. Smoke was a happy medium. He was a really good character, but I feel like he had a really interesting neutral game that was very hands-on, very fun. So Shazam is probably the second coolest character in this game to me. Let's see what happens. And I clicked really well with him. I really like Shazam, and no one knew how to block. I think it was standing 2-2 into his grapples. Just no one knew how to block that in San Antonio for a really long time.
Yeah.
When San Antonio played the game for like 3 hours, But I think after like our first local, after the Superman army, I think that we were all just like, fuck it, except for Master Betty. He's the only one who sucked at the game.
Man, I kept playing that game up until fuck. I was still playing that game 2 months ago. I really love Injustice. I'd play it right now if I had it handy. I don't, but
I think the game is really good. The only reason I dropped it is because, well, for one thing, I got so frustrated with the just Superman Black Adam. Just locally, I got so sick of that.
yeah.
But more importantly, just it wasn't a good time in my life to play fighting games. You know, even right now, I can't go to locals anymore because of my schedule. So
Right, yeah, that's a thing. But see, I mean, okay, yeah, it's different for me just because I'm always an online guy. So if I can play online, I'm happy. Which with NetherRealm games, I can barely play online, but I manage somehow. But yeah, so as long as I'm online, I'm okay.
yeah. So, but I mean, I guess going back to Digit, you
Right,
don't hear
Digit.
that very often. You don't hear people say, "Did you hear about that Shazam who won that regional?" That's not a phrase.
No,
that
yeah,
was
I
used
didn't.
pretty
I
much
never
ever.
heard that in Injustice.
So yeah, huge props to Digit for winning again. He won with Raiden, Thunder God. But I mean, even though I say he's the best character in the game, you still have to have good fundamentals. To get, I think, the most juice out of Raiden, you really have to have a solid ground game. You know, he doesn't. He's very safe, I feel like. And he's got really good range, but he still has to work. I think at max potential, he's the best character in the game right now. He's not easy mode by any means, so I still give huge props to him. And huge props to Chris G, too, for ancestral Kung Jin and grand finals.
Oh yeah,
was
dude was
really
working his
refreshing.
ass off with that character.
As he does. I mean, I wish he had stuck to Reptile because he did some really good work with Reptile on MK9.
He did.
So that's what I wanted to see. But he was also a Green Arrow player, so I can't say he's not loyal. You know, he likes that style of play.
Oh, yeah,
Clearly, he likes it because he knew fucking Bojitsu was a better variation.
I watched many Injustice tournaments with him playing Green Arrow. But he was always like the only one. He's the only dude in there going in with Green Arrow and shit. So props to him for kind of just picking a character and taking them further than almost anyone else was taking that character.
Yeah, definitely. And probably the last thing I want to say about Texas Showdown is I feel like we're seeing a trend where local or regionals, the people who are local to the scene are doing the best. Like, we had a very strong Texas top 16. You know, we had My God at number 13, Master Betty, my boy in the San Antonio scene, KH Royale. He was a really good Sourx player for Houston. Did really good stuff with Kano too. Sort of a character I don't know how I feel about right now. Yeah, a lot, and just Scar, of course. Scar gained number 3 with a really good Sonya. A lot of good Texas players, and we saw it again with Tor Yukan. A lot of Canadian players in top 8. That's really impressive. I want to say it's telling, but I don't know what that tells. I'm like, what does it mean when a fighting game, when the locals at the regional do well? I don't even know what that means, but it's happening.
Right, yeah.
So I want to say it means something.
I don't know.
So yeah, that closes Texas Showdown. Now we go to Tor Yukan. Tor Yukan was very interesting in one sense, but very boring in the Devora sense. Because, like I said, I don't like watching that character.
I have to see these matches. I have to find them.
Oh, here's one thing about Tor Yukan that maybe was interesting Devora wise. Rio was knocked into losers by Honeybee, who ultimately won the tournament. That's interesting, and I want to say that happened. I want to say that happened in pools. I can't be sure, but that's kind of crazy. He beat Rio's Kung Jitsu. Did I say Rio or Chris G?
Rio.
Okay, Rio. Yeah, I meant Rio exactly. So I don't know why. I'm getting my captain players
Who did
mixed up.
Rio play?
Bojitsu.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, people were like, "Oh my gosh, Canadian player blew up fucking Bojitsu Rio," and
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy. Devore's a really good player. I don't think that was that big of an upset because the guy went on to win the tournament. But I mean, in Pimp and Jim, really strong as Devora. That is such a character he would play anyway. Like, he played Hot Girl in Injustice, so
Fuck Hot Girl. God damn it, I hate Hot Girl so much.
I have no idea where that character was in the tier list. But yeah, that can be a frustrating matchup, I imagine.
Fuck. I mean, oh god, I just got really weird like flashbacks. She just fucking they're flying and then the fucking weird little twirly thing she does with the mace. I mean, listen, I play Nightwing, so I don't have a great jump height whenever I'm in my pole stance, which I usually am, but I can also jump up and, like, fucking swat her out of the air really easy. Because I have the range, but still, that fucking matchup was... That fight in general was just really annoying. Because online, all anyone ever wanted to do with her was to fly up in the corner and fucking throw the mace. That's the fight. That's the match. So I have to wait. I have to do the flying Grayson when I get a chance between the maces, and then jump right up and then just swat her out with the stick. Man, fuck Hot Girl. Anyway, okay, rant over.
Everything kind of looks different from the perspective of a mid-tier character, I guess, but yeah, that's fair. I can't argue with that. Now what I want to do is just go over some of the things that impressed me with Tor Yukan, because to be honest with you, dude, let me just get my notes up real quick, but to be honest with you, dude, like, what impressed me about Tor Yukan wasn't the high-level play. Like, I mean, there was a lot of high-level play, but what I mean to say is that wasn't what was fun to watch for me, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Let me just make sure I have the results in front of me. Event hubs. So anyway, I'm going to go down a list of players who I thought were really fun to watch and just really left an impression with me and who I hope to see more of.
Okay.
So the first character, or the first player I'm going to go over is Justin Wong. Just really solid, dude. People wonder why Justin Wong, even though he's not an MK player, why he gets so many stream views when he streams MKX. Well, it's because he's just, in terms of heritage, he's one of the best fighting game players of all time.
Right, yeah.
And we didn't know if he was going to pick up this game or not. Yeah, exactly. He's Justin fucking Wong, for years undefeated in MVC2. That's a big deal, and that was a very crazy game, you know? And
kind of little
my
bit.
God, just, oh, dude, the Marvel 2014 at EVO was unbelievable. Because he's fucking playing with this high mid-tier team, and when he fucking won, they branded it Return of the King. And I thought that was too fucking awesome, dude. I love Justin Wong, dude. And just to give our audience perspective, before I was doing Mortal Kombat tournaments, I was doing Street Fighter tournaments. That was my first tournament game. Not my first competitive game. I would say my first competitive game was Marvel 1. I played that a lot, but back then, you know, I was a dumb kid. I didn't really 100% know what I was doing, you know. I was just trying to get my execution as high as I could.
Right, yeah.
And then go to the arcade and beat Mark. That was my goal, you know. So Justin Wong, yeah, dude, I just think he's really solid. Raiden, Thunder God.
He plays Raiden? Okay.
But I just really love his spacing. The only thing I don't like about his play is it looks like he's not doing optimal combos. Like, granted, they fit in the patch. They took away some of Raiden's damage with his shocker, but he ends all his combos with torpedo, and I think even with the patch, I know he can get more damage with that. So my only guess is this: either he wants to get his opponent in the corner really badly, or he's trying to get out of the corner really badly because he doesn't know matter what.
That's a similar thing he did whenever I saw him playing in Injustice, though. Not Injustice. Fuck, what am I talking about?
MK9.
Killer Instinct. When I saw Justin Wong playing in Killer Instinct, like, he played Saberwolf whenever I was watching, and you know, he wasn't doing anything with Saberwolf that was that, like, whoa, this tech is crazy, but he's got the Justin Wong factor, so that coupled with how good the character is at a, you know, upper mid level is just really good.
Yeah, he knows movement so
yes.
well. Like, it's like, what, you know better combos than me? Well, when I'm done whip punishing you, maybe you can use one of them.
Exactly.
That's just Wong,
exactly.
You know?
And that's how Justin Wong seems to play these games, from what I've seen. And it works for him.
He, with the exception of his non-optimal combos, you know, he really did well in terms of his corner game and in terms of his spacing. So I just really like watching Justin Wong. And I think a lot of the NRS community is still kind of bitter because I remember he won an MK9 tournament in Canada. I don't know if it was Canada Cup. I don't know if it was Tor Yukan, but I want to say it was Canada Cup.
Huh.
And he got first place. He beat, I think, did he beat Dink? Who did he beat? I think he beat Shujinki Dink.
Okay.
And then when they interviewed him after he won, he's like, this game is so shitty. And I think that was a bad taste with a lot of people. So, yeah, I don't know. But like I said, the dude seems really chill. I love watching him play. Some of the best, seeing his Iron Fist in grand finals. I don't remember which tournament it was. I think it was a Northeast tournament, but that was some of the coolest shit ever. Oh my God. And still seeing him play Storm Wolverine and Akuma, just, I I love watching top 8 Marvel. Actually, before I even get to my next person on the list, there's a list of 5, by the way. Let's talk about Kane Blue River. This guy got to fucking top 8. He either got to losers finals or grand finals, but he did really well. He was tearing people up with Point Hulk. I don't think we've seen Point Hulk in a tournament since fucking, what, March 2011? Like, holy shit, dude. And that was beautiful. It was Hulk, Hagar, and Sentinel. And just seeing his Hulk rush down and making it safe with Sentinel assist, I'm like, oh my god, this is so badass. But I think Justin Wong blew the shit up out of him. But anyway, yeah, he won that tournament, by the way, spoiler alert. But yeah, dude, I still love watching High Level Marvel. But anyway, next on the list, I'm going to give it to Death. Death played really solidly, and there's 2 reasons why he was interesting to watch. Because, A, it was sort of a follow-up to see how much better Sonya's gotten, or just compared to Showdown, Scar Sonya versus Death Sonya. So, yeah, that was very interesting to compare that. And Sonya, I think, is kind of an interesting character to watch anyway. But another reason is because Death disappeared. Death was pretty much gone for Injustice. And he was a very strong MK9 player. So the question is, what's Death going to do? Death is back. Is he going to be good? Is he going to make shit happen? And he did. Let me make sure, again, let me check the results. I want to say he got he played Sonya.
Oh, okay.
Because, the Sonya player.
Just a reminder, I have not seen this tournament.
That's fair. No, you got number 3, yes.
Okay.
And yeah, just really interesting play. And I'm glad to see Death doing well. He was one of the Sonya players in MK9. I want to say he used Melina as well, but I can't remember. I mean, that's too many years ago, so that's gone. But yeah, so he just really liked watching him play. And more importantly, he bodied a lot of boring-ass Cassie players, so good for him. I hate watching Cassie. And, okay, let me say this much. Props to the Cassie players at Canada Cup because they played really well, and they're really good players, and I think they deserve all the praise in the world. I just hate watching that character. Like, Jeremiah, he's a great player. And, he earned his, I think, 5th place? I have the results in front of me. Why do I guess? Yeah, 5th place. But that character is just boring as fuck to watch, and I already hate the character on a conceptual level. I think she's already boring. We've already had enough of that on the Nethercast itself, but just... Blow-ups. Yeah, I don't like that character. I'm sorry.
Dang,
but yeah, so Death, good shit. Really hope to see more from him. I don't think Sonya's the most interesting character, but she's fun to watch in this engine. I think in the MKX engine, she's a lot more fun to watch. And that brings us to our number 3. This one, I don't think anyone's going to see coming. Whatever people think I'm going to say, I guarantee you they're wrong. And that's going to be Neo Russell with Mournful Katana. It's Mournful Katana. He used Mournful
shout outs for
Katana
playing that character in variation.
I mean, Katana's already not that great, and you're using debatably her worst variation.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I play Mournful Katana to an extent, so I don't think it's that. Let me put it this way: if it's the worst variation, it's not much worse. Let me put it that way. But yeah,
but really even if it was just like Katana, you don't really see that in tournaments at all. At least I haven't.
It's kind of like Unbreakable. It's like it's not even there. It's like it's not even a thing, So I just really liked watching his playstyle, just controlling space with a throwing star, just really cool. And just utilizing I just love him going into chains, and then when it looks like the chain's unsafe, he cancels into throwing stars, just stuff like that. I don't know how viable it's going to be, but props to that dude for just making the game fun to watch. Because Devora players, you're not the ones doing it. You guys are boring as fuck. Props to you for all your skill and all your lab work and all your smart stuff, but I just don't like watching your character. I'm sorry.
Ah, man.
But yeah, so Neo Russell, your shoutouts. Number 2, again, this is kind of like Justin Wong, just really solid play. I think he's getting so much work out of his character, and that's going to be Nicholas. He's a GGA player, plays a really solid RMAC. I like watching him play. I think he's doing a lot of really cool stuff. I think he plays a really solid game. Again, I don't know how much of it is gimmicks. I don't know how much of it is solid play because I don't know the difference without taking the character into training mode. but really good pressure, nice little vortex setups. And I have to admit, a lot of this is because I watch him play at GGA, so a lot of my impressions with Tor Yukan and his local player kind of meshing together, but just a really cool player. Like, I like watching him play. And that brings us to the final guy, who I thought was... Well, let's backtrack. What do you think of Ermac right now? Do you think of Ermac at all?
I have not played Ermac at all. Have not touched him. But
a lot of people haven't. He's kind of one of the more on-the-side characters right now.
I like watching him. I know that much, and I know that if I've lost to him online, I don't feel, like... I don't know. I'm cool with him. From an outside perspective, I'm cool with what I've been seeing of Ermac. Except for the meter thing that I heard about. I mean, but whatever. Ermac's
He's
cool
now
with me.
got another meter problem, but I don't know if they even need to fix it, to be honest with you, but it's a thing. He can now steal all your meter.
Ooh. Well, let's just call it a feature.
We'll just call it a mechanic for now. We'll have fun with it.
It's a special move.
Kung Lao, on the other hand, they took away Ermac's meter glitch and they gave one to Kung Lao, and it's debatably worse, but... whatever. We're talking about happy things right now. Let's talk about happy shit.
Right.
But yeah, Nicholas, he's one of those players I feel like uses every part of the Buffalo. A lot like Justin Wong. A lot like Justin Wong. Just a lot of good players, So, yeah, good shit to him. Finally, my favorite person at Tor Yukan. Just this guy, just love watching him. So much fun. Too fucking cool. Great character choice. Great setup. Solid play. X Smoke X. Oh my god, was this guy fun to watch.
Who did he play?
He played post-patch Shinnok.
I should have known. Okay.
Well, not really. I don't know how you could have known, because his name is X Smoke
No,
X.
but you said that you like his character choice, and you love Shinnok.
And I love the fact that he's using a character who's not being featured right now. So yeah, okay, that's fair. But God, this guy was fun to watch, because he's already using all the shit, dude. He's already using his 50/50s. He's already using his burning ground fireballs into pressure. Like, oh, he's so fun to watch, dude. My only criticism, and X Smoke X, if you're listening to this, you need to fix this shit like right away, tonight. Stop using that shitty samurai costume. My God, they gave Shinnok one of the best designs in the game, and you use that shitty costume. Stop it.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that skin.
All of them. The only one that looks decent is Katana, but I can't stand them.
I like Kenchi's. I like Kenchi's a lot. It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, the jokes aside, though, like by far the most fun person to watch too, because he was known for his smoke pressure. Like, he had one of the best MK9 sets with Rio back in that game's history. So, yeah, really cool seeing him, dude. Just really solid play. Let me see where he plays, because I don't think he got top 8, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure he got top 16, though. Again, just really fun to watch. Huge props to him. Really look forward to seeing what he does. But isn't that the bane of all Canada players? They don't really... Dink is the only one I know who travels, Yeah. They don't really get out of there,
I gotta watch this tournament. It's on my list.
Highlights, maybe?
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, it featured a lot of characters who just weren't my thing, Just characters I'm not blown away by. But
I mean, I'll definitely skip around through it, but I want to see what's up.
Oh, definitely. Well, Devora, at least you'll see just kind of what kind of dirt Devora has,
I want to see the dirt. I definitely want to see the dirt.
Because it's dirt. It's really dirty. That character is so dirty on so many different levels. But that pretty much covers everything. I guess what's the game plan from here? Because I'm trying to play more, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. It looks like life is just kind of too heavy right now. So I'm going to have to kind of play in the pockets of time I do got. Do you see yourself playing the game more or less? Do you think...
Actually, for the next roughly month, I'll be playing the game more than usual. So hopefully that means that I'll get good. Probably not. Probably not. I'll probably be... that's the thing, playing online, I'm just seeing everyone else get good. I'm seeing, like, the number of good players that I get matched up with, they're all getting better with different characters, so I don't really know if I'm getting better along with them, but whatever. I'm just gonna play some more. I'm gonna do my homework with Sub-Zero because I want to, and I'm also really having fun with Jason, but it's getting to the point now where if I'm in ranked, I'm like, okay, I'm in ranked. There's no fun to be had in ranked. This isn't about fun. This is about me playing my main and doing the best, because you can't trust the fucking what it says about their skill level or anything, really. I've just made that mistake too many times. Like, oh, okay, this dude seems like you might be all right. I'll play a little Jason. I'll have some fun with my video game. Nope, fuck that. No, if I want to have fun, I'll go to player matches. But yeah, I'm gonna try to learn some Sub-Zero. Other than that, I don't know. I still want to learn Aaron Black, and I want to learn Kung Jin more. There's a lot of characters in this game that I still really like, and we have who's up? Tanya, she's coming along.
That's going to be really interesting to me. That I'm really kind of wondering what that character is going to be gameplay wise, because with the archetypes we have right now, it's mostly Rushdown, and I guess maybe traps as well. That's the game right now. So where's Tanya going to fit in that in that very singular style we have going on at the moment? Is she going to be among the 50-50 characters, or is she going to be among the not really decent Kenshi zoning characters? Where is she going to fall?
Yeah. Right now, I'm not interested in playing her at all. But I wasn't interested in playing Jason either. And then I saw, his kind of cheeky bullshit, and I was like, all right, I'll play this game. And so
oh man, go on.
Maybe Tanya will have some cheeky bullshit that I'll have fun with too. Who knows?
No, all I know is I was so salty after not getting that Jason run back. And you beat my ninjutsu Scorpion. I'm like, no, I did not just put 10 hours in this character to get beat by your day one fucking Jason. Dude.
Okay, listen. I will never again leave, a King of the Hill, having gotten the last win. I'll never do that ever again.
Shame you had to start now. You couldn't realize that? I don't know, maybe 6 months ago?
It doesn't matter if I beat you like a few times. Like, it's still, if I leave, that's it. He took his win and ran.
Oh man, but I mean, that's one reason why I love playing you, dude, because you play characters that make me salty. So I feel like winning and losing matters, So,
why did losing to Jason make you salty?
Just...
Why were you playing Scorpion?
Because,
that's the question.
Okay, let's talk about that, because that is a big talking point. Why is Temp playing Ninjutsu Scorpion? Because he's probably the weakest variation. Although it's still not bad. He's the
least popular variation.
Yeah, but one reason why I like him is because to me he feels a lot like Smoke. He feels very much like Smoke to me. Right. In terms of just decent mid-range options. His forward 2 reminds me a lot of Smoke's back 2, but with distance, Because if you space that right, I don't think... At the max spacing, I don't think any character can punish that, as far as I know. It's either going to be out of range or it's not going to be fast enough. So, okay. I mean, what I did, I went into training mode and I turned on the reversals at random. Mm-hmm. Nothing could punish that. I don't think there was anything that could punish that. So, no, I had to space it right. But just the mid-range game reminds me of Smoke. I have a really good combo starter at mid-range. I have good spacing options. I can get across the screen very well. I got good damage. He feels a lot like Smoke to me for some reason. And that's a lot of fun.
You're still playing Scorpion.
What's up?
I said you're still playing Scorpion.
Yeah, I know, and that's why he could never be my main. Like, if Sub-Zero played like Ninjutsu Scorpion, then that would be the ultimate. If Scorpion was Sub-Zero, I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
This is a weird world you're trying to build here.
Yeah, dude, I'm seeing colors right now.
I don't know, man. I still say that Takeda reminds me of Smoke whenever I play him.
Well, that's the cool thing about Smoke. Smoke was a very flexible character, so everyone kind of had a different Smoke, So, what Smoke feels like to one person is going to translate differently to other people. Because, I mean, yeah, that does make sense. When I remember you playing Smoke, it did kind of... Just, I don't know. I guess because you're a little bit YOLO with your Takeda, and I guess I saw that in your Smoke as well.
Yeah.
You played a very frantic, or maybe like a frenetic Smoke. I don't know.
Yeah, frantic's probably accurate.
It was a very live wire smoke, I remember. Well, I play more of like a mid-range, wait, I'm tired of waiting down fourth. That was my smoke.
Yeah, I do shit. I should probably do less shit. Especially with Takeda, it's fucking me up.
I don't know if you're not going crazy enough or if you're going too crazy. I can't decide. I need to play more matches with you.
I'll figure it out. I did want to touch on one thing, though, that interested me that I heard this past week.
Yeah.
And it was about the... It was a rumor about the netcode in general for MKX. I said this a while back. I don't know if you were... I think it was on a pod. And I'm going to assume that you were on it, where I said, I don't think it's an issue they can really fix, like, completely, because it's a fundamental issue with the engine they've been using for 3-4 games now. And netcode, from everything I've ever understood about it, which isn't that much, needs to be something that you kind of have to work in as you're building the engine from the ground up. As far as like how the game reads inputs and all shit like that. So back when they were making like, MK versus DC, they weren't really... netcode wasn't even the same kind of thing it is now, but I also don't imagine it being a high priority, because what was a high priority with that game? Like, they were making that game on the craziest budget. That was the ass end of Midway. Yeah, so whatever. But I heard this past week that is pretty much what's going on. They can't...
Do you have a source for that?
I do. It's probably not a big deal if I say it, but I don't want to say it and then get blown up about it. I'll just tell you. I'll tell you after we stop recording. I'll do that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I heard on a thing where some people... I don't even want to say that. That seems to be the case. Basically, that seems to be the case. And so it seems like, or sounds like, until NetherRealm stops using Unreal Engine 3.5 or whatever the fuck they've been using forever now, until they move on to a new engine and start over, the netcode's not really going to get that much better. They can work on stuff like matchmaking and stuff like that, but just in general, like, it's going to be NRS netcode as we know it.
I mean, it's definitely logical. I mean, we've seen games adopt different netcodes, with a Third Strike. They used GGPO for that when Iron Galaxy, did the port.
Yeah, they totally did.
So I'm wondering, is it because it was a Dreamcast game from the fucking early 2000s? Is that why it was easier? I don't know. I'm not a programmer.
Yeah,
I'm
not either, so I can't, say like, yep, this is totally... I'm just saying what I heard, and the sources that I heard it from seem pretty fucking airtight. But it's sad. It makes me very sad. It makes me very sad.
I feel like, that would explain... Because they can afford to buy their own servers, They can
afford to buy anything, you know what I mean? Like, they're fucking Warner Brothers now, and this game is selling really well. And that's kind of the problem. They don't really have that much incentive to make a whole new engine or even do any kind of drastic thing with their engine that they've been using over and over again, because the game is still, at the end of the day, it's making a lot of money. So, you know what I mean? Like, where's the incentive to do that much work for, what might be a vocal minority? Those of us that are... I don't think it is, especially with this game. I think a lot of people, especially right when it first came out, were, like, screaming about it, but I don't know. I don't see them having a lot of incentive for it.
The point I always bring up when it comes to the FGC being a vocal minority is, I mean, Evo is now getting 100,000 plus viewers. So that's 100,000 enthusiasts right there. Now, first of all, just in terms of sales, that does matter, But I think more importantly, the word of mouth has become too strong in the FGC. Even if we're a minority in terms of sales, we are the dominant voice representing the game. Like, casuals have no voice. I mean, that's not a shot at casuals. It's just true. They vocalize on levels that don't really matter. It's like, I want to see this character in the game, says GameFAQs user Leo Wolf 18,000, whatever,
Hey, I know that
the
guy.
FGC, they have podcasts, they have commentators, they have articles on them, good and bad. So we have a voice now, a very loud voice, and if we provide negative word of mouth, that counts. And I think that's one reason why Ed Boon went on the record and said we are not content with the netcode right now. We think it should be better, and we're going to do everything we can to make it better. That did not happen in 2011.
No,
for two reasons, really. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
No, go ahead.
One reason is I don't think they anticipated on it being that bad. They thought we're going to fix this. This is not going to be an issue, and they couldn't fix it. The second problem, or the second reason why they didn't do that, is they were kind of still the new kids at Warner Brothers, and
right, yeah.
I don't think they had the really just the pull yet, you know.
Right. Well, then what's the excuse for like Injustice, though?
That's a real. I mean, Justice in general is kind of a strange game, in my opinion. It's sort of surreal that that's even a thing to this day. That there's a DC fighting game made by the makers of Mortal Kombat. That's such a weird thought to me, but I don't know. That's a good question. I guess the way that, let's put it this way: the complaints about MKX and the complaints about MK9's netcode pale, were much more potent than they were with Injustice. People were unhappy with the netcode, but I don't remember there being as much backlash about it. Like there weren't other communities complaining about it. You know, that's what I remember at least. I could be wrong about that, but
I just remember playing now all three games a decent amount, and I mean, yeah, it seems like the kind of hit and miss ratio is kind of the same throughout all three of these throughout all three of these games. And my question is, like, I know it's not an issue that it can't be. It's not an issue that you can just throw money at and make it go away, because they have all the money that they could need to do that. So it's
that's a depressing thought.
If that's not the issue, then what is? What's keeping them from getting it better? Especially when Dude Bros over, like, you know, the other side of town are doing it so well.
I mean, in my opinion, the only people that are really doing it well is Iron Galaxy.
Right,
I think
exactly. That's
Guilty Gear
about.
still has problems from what I understand.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, if you're right, then that's why they're not buying servers, because maybe they know it won't make a difference. That's depressing to me. I hope that's not true, but I have to admit that it definitely sounds like it might be.
And like I said, Iron Galaxy, it wasn't Iron Galaxy at the time, it was Double Helix. They built that game from the ground up for one purpose, and that is versus. There's nothing else in this fucking video game. And it's a downloadable game only. It's an online title. If it doesn't play well online, you don't have anything else in Killer Instinct. So that's really high priority to work in on, like, the base ground level, and that's not something that existed at all with, certainly not MK versus DC, and probably not MK9 either. And then by the time Injustice rolled around, it was already too late. That's what it seems like to me.
Well, I mean, it's such a dark, depressing discussion, you know. I want to see it, but to be honest with you, I gotta give them some credit, because they are improving. It is getting better. This is the best netcode we've ever seen in a NetherRealm game.
And I feel like the problem with them is even more now. It's not just how do we make a good netcode, it's how do we make this thing that we have to use as good as it can be. Which is even harder, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I just don't want them to give up in general. Like, that is my biggest criticism of NetherRealm Studios. I feel like they reach a point where they're like, we're happy, let's move on to the next game. When MK9 needed so much that it needed another patch so badly. And we could do a whole episode on what I would have changed about MK9.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And Injustice, I feel like they came to a good stopping point in Injustice. I feel like in terms of balance, the game turned out really well.
I wanted one more character in that game. I wanted a fucking Robin, but whatever.
Yeah, well, if there was one more character, it wasn't going to be Robin.
It wasn't going to be Robin. I wanted a Robin skin for Nightwing.
Yeah, I agree.
I tweeted the fuck out of Ed Boon for that. Nope. Whatever. It's okay.
We didn't get a single good costume for Aquaman. Not a single one. They all looked off to me. If anyone needed a new 52 costume, it was Aquaman.
Yeah.
You know, he's always such a, clean-looking character. Don't throw bullshit on him, dude. And then yeah?
No, it's just like, we're talking about Injustice, and like, we pretty much all know that there's an Injustice 2 coming out at some point. It'll happen. But if they're still having this netcode problem that we're talking about right now with that game, because they're still using the same modified Unreal 3 whatever engine, I'm bummed for that game right now. It hasn't even been announced yet.
Are we excited for Injustice 2? Is that
I am.
I don't know if I am. Say
I
more.
am. I am
What's
totally
getting you
excited
pumped?
about it. I liked Injustice. I liked the. I don't know. I liked it. I don't even know if I have words to explain exactly what it is. I like some
And
of.
you're a comic book guy too. You read
I
DC.
am, but I'm not a DC guy.
Really?
Yeah. So I went in not even. I didn't even pay attention to that game until it was out, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it, and then I just liked it, just based purely on the gameplay. And yeah, I casually like Batman and whatever, and I know who all these characters are, but I don't care for the DC universe really at all. But maybe it was just Nightwing. If had Nightwing not been an Injustice, maybe it would be a completely different story for me. I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think
agree
what I
with you,
really
by the
liked
way.
about
I
it,
think it's a
I'm
good
just
game.
going to keep ranting about Injustice. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
No,
Do it.
I just like the kind of thing that they introduced in that game. What was it? It was the back three, where you could meter burn it, and it was kind of it was a universal mechanic. Either back three or forward three. You could do either one of them. You can meter burn it for something, and that's just not something that I ever experienced in MK9, which was the only other fighting game that I ever got into. So the fact that I could meter burn it and eat a thing made it fun to kind of play that game. Okay, you're going to come and do a jump in punch. I can meter burn this, eat your punch, but then you have to eat a whole combo. I like that fun shit. It's fun. And yeah, the rest of it was just Nightwing poking you with a big stick fun.
I agree. I agree with all that. I think Injustice was a really good game. I didn't want to drop it. I didn't really even mean to drop it. I think just the pre-patch balance issues bothered me in a way they didn't bother me with MK9. Because in MK9, I had movement. I felt like the fundamental movement of the game would allow me to work around so much shit.
Yeah.
Injustice felt so restrictive. So
Yeah,
when you
those
encountered
dashes
something
were way
dumb.
different.
And another thing that turned me off, it was just there were so many gimmicks in that game. There were so many matchups where if you had never played that character before, you would just get blown up.
Oh, absolutely.
So it became
Definitely.
exhausting, and when you don't have a main, when you don't have a character you're in love with, that's really disheartening, It's really discouraging. And that, I think more than anything else, that is what killed Injustice for me, is I didn't have a Smoke, or a Lee May, or a Rose, or a Yang. That's what I needed in that game.
No, I hear you. But, I mean, we all know that the game is probably going to come out, though, the sequel to it. Just based off all the shit that Ed Boon talks in general. But I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You can't keep using this modified Unreal 3 engine forever, when everyone else is dropping it for Unreal 4 at this point. So at some point, I'm just okay, they're going to have to switch over sooner or later, so maybe this netcode problem won't persist from now on and always, but I don't know, maybe if they want to keep modding it over and over again and throwing more money at the same fucking engine, maybe they can use it into perpetuity. I don't know, because MKX doesn't look bad, and it's selling really well, so like I said, where's the incentive to do that much work, to rip out its guts and start over, whenever you're making money?
You know what the real shame is?
What's that?
The netcode is, we say it's improved over Injustice, but not much. I don't think it's true. I think the netcode is actually a lot better. But what happens is they made things so much harder to punish. They made the punishing windows a lot smaller. So it doesn't really matter how much better it is, because it needs to work at all. It needs to be fully functional for the game to be played at high level. That's the real problem I have with the netcode. That it needs to be better. It's not that it's not improved.
Yeah.
It has improved, but it needs to be so much better.
I don't know, man. I hope that what I'm saying is just repeating someone else talking out their ass, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And like I said, all the signs just kind of point to it, because, again, if it was an issue of money, they could throw money at it and it would be gone. And they haven't. Since, the end of MK9, all through Injustice, now MKX, it's not something that they can just throw money at and fix, obviously. So what is the problem then?
I think maybe there's another possibility. It could be the legacy code. That's a possible. That's a possible. No, I'm sticking to that. I'm not fixing that.
Okay.
It could also be Warner Brothers. It could be Ed Boon turning to the Warner Brothers execs and being like, we need to improve the netcode. We need to make big changes. We need this budget. this has to happen. And maybe it's just Warner Brothers going, why? We already sold 5 million copies. We already have DLC, Easy Vitality
Right.
money,
No,
Crypt money
absolutely, yeah.
coming into the account. Why should we? From a business standpoint, why do we need to waste more budget on this game? We crossed the finishing line. We're done running. Maybe that's what's happening, And I don't think Warner Brothers gives a shit if fucking
No, yeah,
Eris
that's
is complaining on a Twitch channel about the netcode. I don't think they give a shit.
No, I don't either. I think that I think it's what you say it is. What you're saying it is, like, big WB is looking at it and it's like, okay, we could put this money into all the resources and time and everything like that we need to crank out this new engine built up from the ground up with new netcode, or we could use the same one we're using right now, put out less money, and sell the same amount we would if we went the other way. You know what I mean? So if it could be like you're saying, like they don't want to support it now on the back end, but that also could have happened on the front end with the legacy netcode theory.
Yeah, that's right. It could be both. It could truly be both, and that would
could.
be such a shitty situation. And it's not even just the netcode; it's everything. It's the balance patches. It's the costumes. There's no Warner Brothers executive going, "No, they're right. They do need another classic costume for Katana." No, they're not saying that.
Nightwing needs a Robin skin.
Damn it, John, you're right. When you're right, you're fucking right.
Yeah, that's totally happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know, but there's a lot of good things to say about this game. I mean, my biggest criticism, of course, has never been the netcode. It's a problem. For me, the biggest criticism is the roster, but I beat that dead horse. Not that I'm done beating it. I'll beat it at a later date. I have bigger plans to beat that horse later.
And there's not as much room to beat that horse right now because there's still the possibility of additional DLC. 1 or 2 more characters that could help.
See, that might be the most depressing talking point of all of them. That just, I want them to announce it already. I'm tired of the suspense. I want to know if I'm going to have a main in this game, because Crime Master Sub-Zero is cool, but it's
Shinnok
never
got better.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. That thought definitely crossed my mind. Do I want to go back to Shinnok with his current buffs? And
I remember playing your Shinnok. It wasn't bad. It was kind of it got annoying sometimes. You should stick with him.
It's fun. My biggest reservation about Shinnok is, like I said, I don't feel like they fixed the neutral game. The neutral game's not better.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part about fighting games, is the mid-range footsies,
Yeah.
Is the setups and just that spacing when everyone has their options on the table and you're waiting to do something. That's the funnest part, I love Rushdown. To an extent, there are some times I like zoning, but in the history of fighting games, I've only played one zoner, and that was Zelda in fucking Brawl. So,
Zeruda.
And that was, what's up?
I just said Zeruda.
Zeruda, yeah, that's
Zelda. I listen. I hear the word Zelda. I have to say it as the Japanese do. I don't know why. I'm probably because I'm racist. I guess I'm a horrible person.
I feel like they added like 3 syllables to her name.
Zeruda.
Ujira. Yeah, but we'll see, man. We'll see. There's another talking point. There might not be more DLC. We don't know. We have no idea. Let's face it. This is not Martian Manhunter Part 2. People are not crying for fucking Kai or Smoke
or Cyrax or yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening, and that's why I'm so pissed off at the Fujin fans. I feel like they could have.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, that's what I thought. Fujin, but I don't know, how to get people more vocal. I don't know.
I just feel like that with comic fans, you get more fervor. With fighting game fans, I feel like they just kind of tip over a little too easy when it comes to the fandom. Because, let's face it, this is the FGC. And the people who are going to cry for these characters are the lore guys, and they're a minority inside a minority.
It's true.
But comics are different. Comics is not just about fighting games. Martian Manhunter doesn't need to be in the game because he's people's favorite character. He needs to be in the game because it's motherfucking DC, and you don't make a DC game without Martian Manhunter.
Well,
that's
you don't make
a
a Justice League game without fucking Martian Manhunter.
And they're right. I don't disagree with that. But
no, yeah, totally.
It was a bonfire versus just a sparkler. That's the thing. Fujin fan I think they got disheartened and quit.
And that's another thing. Like, I feel like a lot of Mortal Kombat fans might have a little bit of that. That kind of cynical, depressed thing. Like, oh, fuck, it's never going to happen. Whatever. They hated everything about the old games and blah, blah, blah. All the bullshit that you hear. I don't know.
And another thing is that Injustice, it has a different set of casuals than MK does. You know, Mortal Kombat, if casuals get fatalities, I don't think they really care if Raiko's on the roster. I don't think it matters to them.
Yeah.
In a DC fighting game, when casuals play, they want to play as the Justice League, and they want Martian Manhunter out there. So, dude, like Joe Blow, who can't even fucking do, like, quarter circle inputs, he's going to Twitter the shit out of Ed Boon and say, where the fuck is Martian Manhunter? Mortal Kombat doesn't have that. People are going to do the fatalities, and then they're going to go back to GTA. That's how it's going to work. That's so...
Aww.
So it's not all the fault of the Fujin fans. I wish they could have fought a little harder. That's all I'm saying.
But hey, there's still a little bit of hope. It could happen. Injustice had 6 DLC characters, so who knows?
I think in truth it had 4, and then they were kind of like, sort of like arm locked into making 2 more characters. That's what I think happened.
Well, I don't think people were like dying for Batgirl, though, were they?
Oh, quite the opposite. Like, when Batgirl was revealed, there was a blow-up.
Right, because everyone was like, oh, it's the fucking Batman fighting game, blah, blah, blah. But...
I kind of agree with that, actually.
No, like, it is, sort of, but it doesn't... I don't care whenever Batgirl plays as cool as she did, and she played really cool.
Well, I like Batgirl as a character, too. I think she's really cool. Even from a design standpoint, I think she was one of the more interesting females in the game. My problem with Batgirl is... that was not what the demand was for, you know? But as a DLC character, eventually, I think she's really cool. That was just not a good starting DLC character.
There was also a, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there was also... Wait, she wasn't... Who were the last 2 DLC characters? Was it Martian Manhunter
and Martian Manhunter?
Oh, Zatanna. Were people screaming for Zatanna?
Well, here's the thing. What happened with Zatanna is they had a vote. When Martian Manhunter was inevitable, and they had to basically turn the power back on, reboot all their computers, all their fucking Injustice-y computers, and be like, okay, we got to make Martian Manhunter. There's no way out of it.
Fire up Unreal 3.5 again.
Let's do it. Let's fucking just pull the lever. Let's make it happen. Since we're here, we might as well make a second DLC character, make it somewhat worth our time. So they decided to have a poll, and Zatanna won the vote. So that's what happened.
That surprises me. I'm surprised that Zatanna beat someone like Red Hood. But again, that's a Batman character, so...
Comic fans like their females. I mean, let's be honest, it's sex appeal. She's one of the bombshells of comic books. I mean...
I can't speak to that, because I don't get it.
That's fair.
I just see drawings in computer models. I don't see sex appeal. But it's okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, I mean, with a lot of people, that I think that was one of the sustaining marketing points of comics for a long time, is just like, you know, we got to get a male audience to buy our comic issues. Let's put bombshell characters.
It totally works. I know it does. I just never, like, got that myself, so I don't know.
And also, she's technically a Batman character, but she's so much more than that. She feels more like a Justice League character to me. I don't read comics. I don't know if she was ever in the Justice League. But she works with them. She's important to that part of the universe, you know? So that's what hurt Red Hood. He is a Batman character, like through and through, at the core. So Zatanna didn't have that going for her. She was a very neutral character that I think everyone thought was cool. And a lot of comic book fans, you know, they wanted a bombshell female. And we all fucking know Wonder Woman was not the bombshell female, so... You know, unless people like looking at Tim Curry.
They should have done Supergirl or Power Girl or some shit. I don't care. Whatever. That game's done. Let's not fire up Unreal 3.5 again for that game. That's fine.
So we'll see with the DLC, dude. I don't even know what to expect. There may not even be DLC.
I think there will be a little bit more. Even if it's one, I'm not going to bet again. Speaking of which, I never paid you guys for that, but I kept trying to. What the fuck?
I honestly don't care, dude. Like, just put my money on the table, no pun intended. I don't even know if that's an expression. I'm saying weird shit tonight.
It's fine.
It's been a long night, but no, I honestly don't care, dude. Because you got so screwed in that bet anyway. I mean, you got double fucked, dude. That was not funny.
It
I mean, no,
was-
it was funny, but I mean, it's sad. It's sad and it's funny.
It was sad because it was like the worst possible scenario, but like everyone was so sure there was like an actual hidden character you got for beating story mode, and Shinnok is not that character. But I mean, he is, but he shouldn't have been.
No, dude. Oh god, Texas Showdown. People were playing on stream, and Shinnok wasn't even fucking unlocked. And I'm like,
Wow.
NetherRealm, please, next time, don't do this shit.
Well,
But
Anyway.
I mean, granted, they had setups where Shinnok could play because they knew Shinnok players were coming, but
yeah.
it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth even seeing that. But that's all I got. Any
Yeah.
other?
No, the netcode rant was the last thing I had. So
Yeah, I guess it pretty much covers it. We got a lot done today, though. This was a very content-heavy episode.
it was kind of beefy. What's
Yeah, I think-
what's coming up? We got Combo Breaker coming up.
We do. That's gonna be a big deal.
It is gonna be
We're
a big
definitely
deal.
doing an episode on that. I imagine just to see really what people find. We're gonna watch how Shinnok ages. We're gonna see if people learn anything dirty. We're gonna see if the patch really did justice for the character. And people are saying it did. A lot of people are saying this character is probably top 10 now. Like I said, I don't know if I believe that. I think he's probably tournament viable now. Almost certainly tournament viable. Like I said, all I really care about is the fact that he's a finish. He feels finished to me now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Combo Breaker for sure is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Combo Breaker. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I want to see these. I want to see the Shinnok shit. I want to see post patch how it does in tournament. I want to see all this shit. It's gonna be fun. All right, but yeah, that's all I got. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right.
Wait, no, I
Oh,
don't.
nope. He's a liar. He's a fat liar. What is it?
Keep the interrupting tradition alive. Just shout outs to people I played. I think the last two people I played were Jodan and Sub-Zero, or Subman 799. Those two guys. Like I said, 799 is blowing up pokes in a way that I'm not seeing a lot of people do right now, so props to that guy. Jodan uses a lot of character variety, and which he did in MK9. He's keeping that alive too. He used, I think, Striker and a few other characters, which that's cool, because in year 4 of MK9, no one's really using multiple characters outside of the top 10. So yeah, good matches, guys. Look forward to more.
I gotta play Jodan some. I played him a little bit, but I haven't played him enough. It will happen.
He really likes Jason. He's really taken liking to Jason.
Oh, okay. We're playing some mirror matches then. I see how it is. It's gonna be fun. I like Jason mirror matches. They're fun. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then guys, if you like this, we hope you did, because we just rambled for like 2 fucking hours about fucking block streams and frame traps and all that fun shit. Fucking netcode, Jesus Christ. But yeah, if you liked it, let us know somewhere where we put this. So we'll do another one, which we probably will anyway.
And
But
leave
yeah,
us questions if you have them. Like, we'll answer.
absolutely. Yes.
In the Netherkast, we got overwhelmed. There was too much content to talk about, but this is not the case with this. We
This is
can
not
pretty
the
much
case.
answer anything. Just leave it in the YouTube comments. Maybe, honestly, dude, message me on MKO if you can. That might be the best way to get a question answered, and I'll make a Word document, because for some reason it's hard for me to get back to that thread, but that works as well. I'll try to check it more often. And just whatever you want to hear. We'll talk about anything gameplay related.
Absolutely.
We're interested.
Yeah, let us know who you think needs to get hit with the Nerf bat. I mean, I keep calling for Jackie Nerfs, but no one's listening to Django. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Say bye, Tip.
Take care. Bye.
Later.